Evening YouTube. So in this video I'm just going to carry on from where I left off in the last one and talk about a few of the mods I've done, why I've done them, the bits I've fitted. Last time, if you've watched that video, I touched on wheels and tyres and brakes and why I fitted those. If you've not seen that, please skip back and have a watch of that, leave some comments. But this one will touch on engine and what we've done inside, or should I say what we've stripped out from inside. So yeah, these are pretty nippy little cars to start with. So standard, these cars are pretty good. They are bloody nippy compared to what they are, and you would, I'm going to get a side shot, apart from the odd little, you know, noticeable difference to the standard ones, it does look like a little mini granny carrier, but anyway, is where it is. So what we'll touch on is, I can go zoom in there, the exhaust, yeah, proper chav style. But yeah, we'll go on to the engine, what I've changed on there, what improvements I've noticed, and yeah, why I did it. So I'll go for the engine mods that you can see from the outside first, and then we'll pop the bonnet and have a look. So last video we touched on, let's get out of the shadow, we touched on the ducts on the front and why I've done those. They're obviously ducked in the brakes, well the bottom two are, but you'll see that one and that one. We can glimpse through the grille, pretty obvious what they do there. Just trying to get a bit more air to the air filter. On the front, one thing that I've changed, which is there, obviously you can see, is the grille, which everybody seems to change. I mean, because I think the standard ones don't look the best, and it's one little mod that kind of, you put your own stamp on it. But the grille on here actually came with the car, and it's not the one that everybody seems to put on, which is bloody expensive. I think I've seen them for like £120, £160 for just a grille, but this actually just, you have to cut into the existing grille and kind of screw it in. But the only reason I put that on is just to allow more air in the front, because one is pretty restrictive, whereas this is just kind of two big slots. I will be taking this reg plate off because I mean, it's just a daft idea. That reg plate, as you can see, where it obviously covers half of the radiator, covers half of the radiator, so it's kind of blocking loads of air out. It's pretty much about half the size of the intake, so you're losing, I don't know, well obviously 50% of your air intake into there. And because if you can see the radiator sits there, and I'll show you how small that is, I think the more air you get in there the better, because you are revving the knackers off this car to kind of get the best out of it. So yeah, it gets up to temperature pretty quick. From the outside, it looks pretty stock, and I promise one day we'll spray those spotlights. That's one of those 10-minute jobs that, yeah, never gets done, just to bang some spray on those. So we'll go around to the back. Like I say, we've got a bit of a chavvy exhaust on there. Yeah, exhaust poking out there. That's not what I thought I was ordering. It was a used system, and it's based on the stock one, which is really good at meeting. I'll put some sound clips in so you can see what it sounds like. So I bought that off eBay. It's a full custom made exhaust. It hangs a bit low, I've not caught it yet. It's basically based on the standard system, but it's just like an uprated stainless steel version, so it's still the same diameter. It sounds as meaty as the standard one, but what the seller didn't tell me is that it was a centre exit, so when I came to fit it, kind of like thought, yeah, not too keen on it, but you know, sounds good. It was, with it being stainless steel, it's obviously in far better nick than what the standard one was, because that was kind of on its last legs, been patched up a couple of times. So I just changed that, because with this car being lowered on stiffer suspension, it rattles the crap out of the car, and the standard system, yeah, it was kind of held together with hopes and dreams, and it was clattering about a little bit. So one advantage of the centre system is that when it kinks over the back axle, it kind of clears it a lot better, so any sort of movement that's there, it kind of eliminated that, because it made sure it was all nice and tucked away and not too close to obviously the rear axle and the shocks where it can clatter a little bit. One thing I did do to the exhaust before I fitted it on is, I'm going to clip down here, is, so you can see it, I don't know how clear that is, but I heat wrapped that with some, I think it's basically like just fiberglass sort of matting. It's a bit of an old school mod, not sure if it does anything, but go on eBay, you can pick rolls up that does a relatively short system like this for about £15. All probably comes from China, probably just sod all, but I thought it's worth a go for a little effort while the system was off. I'll pop the bonnet, let me show you what's inside. Oh, you can see, added these little clips just because of the bonnet catch. Well, I never trust those. One of the mods I'm going to do to this is headlight. I'm going to take the headlight out, just basically remove all the back off that and just use that as one big massive air scoop into the engine, just to try and get as much air in as possible. So yeah, let's pop the bonnet and I'll show you what's been done on the inside. You can see we've got rid of the main catch holding the bonnet down. Got these two little push pin connectors on the bonnet, which, well, £9 off eBay I think they are. You just simply pop that, pop that. Engine wise, I've not done masses. You can probably see a few shiny little bits that's yeah, probably questionable at the moment, but so we went with strut brace on the front, obvious reasons, put a new rad in because the old one was crusty. That big air intake, or duct should I say, runs to the front of the airbox, that's connected to that one. The other side I've yet to duct, but I'm gonna, when I take the headlight out, kind of put a bit of a twin pipe up and kind of feed it into one, because at the moment the air sort of only intake is this tiny little thing, which, yeah, it's a small engine, but it just seems a little bit daft, because obviously when the engine's, or when the bonnet's shut, the only air kind of just scoops over the sort of gap where the bonnet and headlight sort of join. Yeah, you get a bit of air coming up there, but not masses, so that's why I'm going to, like I say, because it's not an everyday car, I'm going to kind of duct that straight up through the light and that one and get as much as I can. Did a proper old school mod with the airbox, you can see, and drilled it front, back, both sides. Yes, a lot of people are probably going to say, well, that's just going to suck loads of warm air in, but I'd only had this car couple of weeks, and with messing around, you know, stop starting and watching the temperature, I did notice that this airbox, because it's sat directly on top of the engine and obviously towards the back, it got really hot anyway. Stupid idea to put the airbox on top of an engine where all the heat kind of obviously rises and it's just soaked straight in. So yeah, you're still going to get a lot of cold, a lot of warm air going into here, but that's the reason why I've got this big duct there. So it is a real old school mod, is that, but I'll try and get a clip because it does give a really good noise. Like I said, this tube on this side, that's just fed to the front of the grille, so that's putting air around there. I've tried to reduce some of the heat from inside, so I can kind of see, but all the manifold and the exhaust is all heat wrapped up, just try and get rid of some of the air, or some of the hot air that's obviously going to rise and go into the airbox. I've done the same on the back with the heat tape. Don't know if it's doing anything. I'm under no illusions. I know it's not going to make a massive difference, but I have noticed since doing that when you come to touch the airbox, it's nowhere near as hot as what it used to be. Once I've done the air intake on the light, which is obviously going to go directly into there, I'm going to try and feed a bit to kind of feed some air, some cold sort of air into this side as well, just to try and get as much cold air into there as possible. Yeah, again, I know it's a cheap mod, but I'm laughing because to me it just makes me smile because it does make this little 1.5 feet. I don't know, it gives it like that little whistle, and when you're doing a bit of heel toe and drop it down, and obviously the rev shift a bit, it gives a pretty decent noise. In the airbox we've got a K&N panel filter.